Hello, welcome. It is the final show before the official end of the season. No, the unofficial end of the season. The Super Bowl is only, well, 48 hours away. Will, Peter, how are we doing? Are we looking forward to it? Because, wow, the whole season of ups and downs has been leading forward to this very, very moment.
Yeah, definitely. Super Bowl week. So this is the one the teams have had time to prepare, time to rest up, time to think up overcomplicated schemes that might get completely nullified. We we just don't know. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the teams come out later on in the week. It's always kind of electric because I have a few stateside friends, and they're not traditional football fans like all the way through. But when I bring up the Super Bowl, they're like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." So they're all tuning in.
It's a national event, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's literally like watching England in the World Cup. Like, let's say
Yeah.
if we make it to the semis, you know what I mean? That's how big it is. It doesn't matter if you're into football or not. Like everyone's sort of watching it. So yeah,
Everyone
it's
knows
gonna be awesome.
what their pre-game snack food's gonna be, what the
Yeah,
spread's gonna be. Like that's all pre-planned out and everything.
Chicken wings, baby, chicken wings.
chicken wings all the way.
Which flavour? That's a key question.
Garlic
Are we doing
parmesan,
barbecue or are we doing buffalo?
buffalo, garlic parmesan, all the flavors. I just mix them all.
All of them in
You
there.
want them all.
Yeah, I want it all. That's what it's about. This is the biggest sporting weekend, and especially typically in America. Um, it's like a public spectacle. Super Bowl weekend, it's a boost for whichever city hosts a Super Bowl. It's a boost for you because you get people coming to your city. It's a big celebration for football fans, and I think yes, the teams that are involved, their fans are excited and elevated. But I also feel like for us, even if our team don't make it, we still watch it. We still want to be a part of it because it's such a beautiful spectacle. And you're there for the drama and everything that involves with it. So that's what makes it amazing. I mean, I kind of when it comes to sporting events, I kind of put Super Bowl like in my top five. Not quite, top three because I always have the World Cup in terms of football and it's
Hmm.
spectacle. But you could say Super Bowl is kind of presented even more extravagant than things like the World Cup and stuff.
So
But
the one
of
thing that
significance, World Cup.
yeah, so the one thing that's really highlighted to me this week, probably because the amount of Pat McAfee show that I tend to watch a lot of, and is in the run up to the week. This is the first time I've fully been exposed to like how much the media is, how much these the players within the league are peddling products from left, right, and center.
Yep.
All these endorsements and it all culminates in this
Yeah.
week because people are pushing, they're going on to about 50, 60 different shows.
Yep.
Absolutely. And the thing is, if you're a player, this is if you are a good player in the NFL, or if you're, let's say, quote unquote, a starter, and you don't have sponsorship deal, this is the best weekend to get yourself one because they're flogging to get players to sponsor products and stuff, and it's your
But it's not
best
even
shot.
that. It's not just that. It's players putting up their own products in front of
Yeah.
people as well. So it's like,
It's like a gigantic marketing opportunity.
yes,
Yeah.
The whole of the states is watching, which is why, like, when it comes to like big movie trailers, big game reveals, it's always in the Super Bowl. Guaranteed, there's always something new coming out. That's the first time you're going to see it if you haven't heard
Hmm.
about it. So it's like a huge
Hmm.
opportunity. Not to mention the halftime show this year is pretty old school, pretty cool. I
It's
think we've got
legendary
to,
though.
Snoop.
yeah,
It
it's legendary
is,
Snoop,
yeah,
Dre.
yeah.
You've got
Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige. Yep. So yeah, no, it's kind of like a
Okay.
classic.
Yeah. Well, before we talk about the game, the big game itself, last night was the NFL honors, and firstly we'll talk about the awards, and then we'll talk about the Hall of Fame inductees. So, first of all, I'm going to bring up our predictions. That what we predicted prior to the start of the season.
Did we actually
How-
predict enough on this?
Pardon?
Did we actually predict this?
We
I kind of forgot. I know we
predicted
did.
offensive player of the year, offensive rookie of the year, defensive player of the year, defensive rookie of the year, and the MVP, and who was going to be in the Super Bowl. And we
Okay,
predicted all the divisional winners.
All right. Okay.
How many? So, because I've got it all written down here, how many of us were correct? Were any of the categories were we all unanimously correct?
I don't know.
So you're saying one of us was correct all the way?
No, all of us.
not all the way. Unanimously correct for one award.
Unanimously.
The three of us.
For one award.
Ugh.
Defensive Rookie of the Year.
No, only one of us got it correct.
What?
Was it me?
It was you, Peter. You are the only one to say Micah Parsons would be gay.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, I see.
I kind of okay. So that's good though. Hey, I got lucky with that prediction, but it came to fruition. I would say the one that we were unanimous with.
There was only one award that we were unanimous.
Defensive
Who was
Player
it?
of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We all
TJ
said
won.
TJ was going to win it,
yeah.
and TJ won it.
He took it home.
And so he won it by a landslide. He got 42 votes out of the 50.
Yeah.
5 votes for Micah Parsons and 3 votes for Aaron Donald.
Interesting. I wish we could see these voters. That's all I'm
But
saying.
irrespective, right?
Yeah.
We think TJ Watt, 22.5 sacks in
Yeah.
15 games. He only played
I
15.
mean, he probably would have broken if he had played all 17.
Yeah. Or if they sent
Correct.
him on, I don't know, a few one too many extra rushes. That's all I'm saying. But
No, but you know that he tied Strahan's record with fewer rush attempts than Strahan did.
yeah, exactly. I think it's his for the taking. I hope I get to see it sort of broken in my lifetime. I think it will happen. But it's always harder like the second time round because offenses now know you're a bad man and they're just going to do whatever it takes to try and minimize your effect. So it's going to be harder for him going forward. But I mean, everyone knew how good he was going into this year as well. So I don't think anyone can stop him.
Well, the meme game after last year. Last year he didn't win it, and everyone was posting the MJ. I took that personally.
Yeah.
Yep, he took it personally.
And boy, did he take that personally.
Yeah.
He came out firing this year. I mean, I think for him, I think TJ is gonna try and match older brother because JJ won it 3 times and JJ had 2 consecutive 20+ sack seasons.
Have you seen the actual award giving? Because who gave him who announced the award? It was JJ.
JJ.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The JJ Watt. He goes, and the winner of the defensive player of the year is TJ.
My little bro.
Didn't even say TJ Watt, just TJ.
TJ. It's you, buddy.
Of course, like, hey,
it's like-
listen.
But there was quite a moment because they had a lovely moment where they had a proper a heartfelt embrace.
Yeah.
It wasn't like anything normal, and what TJ said is it calmed his nerves down because then it gave him the opportunity, gave him a little bit of time to, compose himself before he gave his little speech.
Yeah, no, I think that's huge. Your older brother giving you that award, a former winner as well, multiple winner. So that's almost like I'm back home. I'm back home. It's just my bro giving me this award, and now I can just talk about it. So if it was like LT or someone like that, that would have been crazy. You know what I mean? But I think, it was a good
I mean,
time for the
it's
NFL.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, is Strahan in space right now? He was doing the astronaut thing.
I have no idea what Strahan is.
I think he wasn't
doing.
available because
But-
maybe they might have let him do it.
So, the only thing I remember I saw some tweets from Darius Leonard, obviously the best defensive player on the Colts side, and I think it was obviously him being driven towards next year because obviously he wasn't even in the running. And you looked at his numbers, and his numbers were, I think, better than Luke Kuechly's were when he won Defensive Player of the Year. Now, obviously, when somebody equals an NFL record,
Yeah.
like that, you've just got to say, okay, he's in a different stratosphere. But all three members, all three guys who were in the running were like high level sacks. Now, this shouldn't be this award shouldn't just turn into whoever gets the most sacks and the sack fest, rather than overall defensive performance. Is that what you think as well? Because you two are the defensive guys. I'm an offense guy.
I mean, I think it comes down to a little bit of both, but it also comes down to impact as well. You know, as a defensive player, the impact that you made with it's not turning into like a sacks type of award, because when Aaron Donald won it, you know, last year,
he didn't get the highest numbers of sacks, but he made a huge impact.
But it's because of the impact that he had. And I think when Kuechly won it in 2013, I think it comes down to this. Okay, so I'll justify Kuechly winning it even though Leonard had better numbers, is because Kuechly was far and away in 2013 the best linebacker in football.
Correct.
Yep.
But right now,
I would say Leonard is probably the best
linebacker, but the gap between
linebacker
and Fred Warner is not like Luke Kuechly and whoever the second
also Colston made the playoffs.
Linebacker was. Yeah, that's also another factor as well. So it's kind of like if you're on a winning team,
as Pat McAfee says, when you lose to Clantown,
Man, to bring that one in.
Yeah, when you lose to Clowntown, you haven't got. But yeah, so Darius Leonard was on the show, so I'll actually talk about. I'm going to bring this up actually because they asked him the question
quickly just before you do it. And also the Panthers were 12-4 that
Correct.
year. That Kuechly won.
Magical season.
So, what Darius Leonard? So he asked him the question: what happened? What was up? And it seems like, for his opinion, it seemed like the team started to believe their own hype.
You mean the Colts?
The Colts. After beating your Cardinals with next to no team,
yeah,
they believe their own hype. And the reason why, because he said the practices were sloppy. In that week of, like, we mentioned it a few weeks ago in with regards to the Raiders game, they weren't executing on either side of the ball in practice.
I would say this, all right. I honestly think that they basically downplayed the Jags, bro. That's all it is.
This is before you even got to the Jags. This is the game against the Raiders, which they could have put it away there and then.
Yeah.
They were sloppy in that week, and then the Jags, they took it for granted.
No,
but anyway, so Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt. We were unanimous at the start of the season, and we all got it right. Now, Offensive Player of the Year. We all missed, and missed spectacularly.
What were our picks?
Will,
go ahead.
You picked Justin Herbert.
Okay, yeah, no, that was he had a great season, great year.
He had a very good season. He had a very good season,
but not enough to really put him in that race as offensive player. But yeah, no, I think knowing who the winner is now, it's not even a surprise, really.
Right. Peter picked King Henry.
He probably would have had, if he didn't get injured, he probably would have had.
He did get injured, but when you're out for when you that would have been a really interesting race.
Because did you see the pace he was on before he got injured?
Yeah,
did you see the
but
pace?
Obviously he wouldn't have got the likelihood of him having that exact pace for 17 games is very low. it's ridiculous because he was on like a 2,500 yard
Yeah, but
season
okay,
pace. It was
He
silly,
would have broke the record, and that would have been enough.
okay.
You know
Hear
what I
me
mean?
out.
and he still wouldn't have got an MVP because
He
it's
wouldn't.
MVQB.
But
It's
hear me
MVQB
hear me
nowadays,
out
so-
here.
What do you mean?
So what if he had done? He would become the first player to do 2,000 back to back. That's never been done.
That's
I
never
know.
been done. That's what I'm saying. Like, and you think he still wouldn't have got the MVP?
Oh, I'm just cynical now.
I think you are being cynical. 'Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
if you break Eric Dickerson's record, even Adrian Peterson was like 2 yards short of this. Like, if you break Eric Dickerson's record and back-to-back 2000 seasons, if you do not get it, like, your journalism as a whole will just be abandoned because
I think at that point, as good as Aaron
It's getting to that point
it
already.
would be a
But,
unanimous decision.
And my pick was CMC, and he was injured for the majority of the season as well.
that's
so.
true. He was.
Yeah.
So we missed very far, and the winner, as soon as I knew who won Offensive Player of the Year, I knew who won the MVP straight away. We all
Yeah.
knew he was going to be winning MVP, but as soon as Cooper Cup, the guy who I've been banging the drum of pretty much the entire season, and you guys will attest to that, correct?
Yes.
His season was ridiculous.
It was.
In my opinion, they win this Super Bowl, it will be the best ever wide receiver season in history.
I think that's
Well, one of the best, but
cherry on the top. I think that's a
No. I say they win it. He has got the best.
I think all in all, because
As
in the end of the day,
I still won't put it past. I think what Jerry did. I think in one of their Super Bowl years, because Jerry had like 1,800 yards and like 22 touchdowns. Like when you have 22 touchdowns in like 12 games, also that's just ridiculous. Like
yeah, it's one thing I've decided to do now is I don't compare eras anymore.
Eras. Yeah.
That's
no,
something.
but
I get you, Pete. I get you, Pete.
I'm just
I
saying
agree
that that's
100%.
mine.
Yeah.
Okay,
know.
let's talk in the last. But if you talk in the last 30 years,
In the last 30
20
years,
odd
yeah.
years.
15 years, last 15.
Yeah,
years.
20 years.
20
basically
years, 20
since
years.
yeah. In that passing era, it's not even close.
Yeah, you got
Receivers have had big games. Randy Moss has had big games in big time moments. You know,
So
but Cooper Cup has just maintained it throughout the whole season. High performance, and he'll
So I'll segue into MVP conversation because Cooper Cup was the first person to receive an MVP vote since who is a wide receiver since when?
Randy Moss.
In
Randy Moss.
1998. Just taken 24 years for a wide receiver.
Wait,
to
was
get
it
an MVP
1998?
vote.
Was it
Bias.
not his 23 touchdown season?
No, it was 1998 apparently.
His rookie year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he had one of the best
Yeah, but
rookies of all time.
but that year he tore up though.
I mean,
That shows how disrespected the wide receiver position is.
that's what I'm saying. That's why when a guy like Cooper Cup comes about, you've got to pay him his dues because it's giving something for other players to aspire to. You know, maybe they don't
And-
get league MVP,
Like
but they get offensive MVP. You know, that's
Like,
something.
I'll give you a very good example. Aaron Rodgers has one elite wide receiver, right? Devontae Adams. But the whole conversation about Aaron Rodgers of late is, does he have the pieces around him for him to be able to, get what he needs to get done, correct? Now,
Yep.
and this is where everyone says, oh, wide receivers can't be up for these awards because obviously the quarterback's got to get them the ball. But the wide receivers that skill of being able to get into space or
huge.
create separation, or when he doesn't have a lot of separation and is still able to get that ball, that is like an intangible skill that is very hard to find in the league.
A lot of people need to understand DBs are all fast in the NFL. They can all run. Not only do you have to be amazing route runner, you've got to have incredible hands. You've got to be strong. You have to be physical. You have to be an absolute machine to do this sort of week in and week out. We're talking broken fingers, toes, all over the place, and they still manage to perform. Like, this is how sometimes I'm always like, I always go with physical difficulty as well. Like, it's very hard to get open consistently because you have to understand throughout the course of a game, especially if you're like a deep threat or a really fast slot, you're running sprints the whole game, whether you get the ball or not. That's an 80-yard sprint and walking back, 20-yard, 30, 40-yard sprint, walking back. That's hard to do. You know, these guys are physically in shape and they have to be able to perform. So when you sort of snub wide receivers, it's a disrespect to athletes in general, you know. So that's my take on it.
I mean, my take is this. Okay, so Cooper Cup had an amazing season, possibly, you know, regarded possibly the greatest regular season by a wide receiver in NFL history. It will certainly be up there with Jerry Rice and Randy Moss's 23 touchdown and Calvin Johnson. So there's like Moss, Rice, Johnson, and now him that have had great numbers. But I'm going to take it to the Exerson Ulster standpoint. He's had a phenomenal year, and he deserves to be in the same bracket as those wide receivers. But from an Exerson Ulster standpoint, right, he's dominated a position and taken it to another level that we never thought was possible. He's dominated the slot wide receiver position and taken it to new heights, because people used to think slot wide receivers will get
check down option.
You could certainly get 1,000 yards. You could get 1,000, 2,004, but to get 1,947 is absurd, and he's taking it to the next level. But then, from an excellent old standpoint, playing on the outside is significantly more difficult because you're not just playing the cornerback, you're playing the boundary as well. So to do it on the outside, I'm just looking at it from excellent old standpoint, and where, when it comes to these award shows, where they put a credence or where they put more emphasis on as to why. So let's say if Cooper Kupp did what he did, primarily playing on the outside, and he cracked that 2,000 barrier, he scored 23 touchdowns, then he has a much stronger case to have been given MVP. I still think they could have given him the MVP, but his case becomes much more stronger because all these veteran journalists and people view outside wide receivers, when you play primarily on the outside, as much more difficult. When you dominate on the outside, they give you much more credence. So it's almost like they're kind of ducking Cooper Kupp a bit for the MVP because he did it on the inside than the outside.
Yeah, one thing.
I don't think he would. I don't think they would have considered. I don't think the voters cared either way. Whether
I'd like to add to that point actually, because I think this is the thing. Cooper Kupp is the new prototype in the slot right now. Mm-hmm. You know, he has officially changed what scouts and teams look for when they draft a slot receiver. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're able to achieve that and change the game on that level, like, you've definitely arrived as a player 100%.
When Kupp was at his university, was it Eastern Washington? It
was Washington State or West.
Eastern Washington. Yeah.
Eastern Washington. Yeah, Eastern Washington.
Did any of you guys see him when he was playing college ball?
Yes, I did. I did, because I was an
did he play slot or did he play outside?
He was out wide. Because
he was out wide in college.
He can dominate. Of course, in college, guys like him.
College, but I think he's because he's got the kind of build that he can play any of the positions.
He can play any of the positions, but
but I don't think
he's 6 foot tall.
Yeah, he's 6'2", 208, but I don't think he'll be as dominant on the outside, because think about it. Like Will said, when he said that all cornerbacks are fast, they're particularly fast on the outside. Outside corners are, like, normally you put your fastest on the outside, and like your 4'5", 4'6", 4'4" corners. No, your 4'5", 4'6" corners are normally your slot cornerbacks, because you expect. And I think Cooper Kupp also dominated because when you put a 6'2", 208 wide receiver who's very good route runner, very savvy, because Cooper Kupp is not the fastest, right? But he's very quick.
But he's deceptively, like we saw in that play against Tampa Bay. He's got wheels.
He has, but here's the thing: though, people need to understand when it comes to on the field, right? His quickness beats you. So if the minute he beats you off the line, you're not catching him because he's created that separation. So you have to now run to make all those yards up, which you won't be able to do.
And he's
And-
got enough long speed as well. Don't
Exactly,
get me wrong, he can run.
enough
He has
long
enough
speed.
long
Yeah,
speed.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just got
that's
quickness
the
off
thing.
the
He's
mark
not
now.
a slow guy. He's just not going to run out of juice or anything.
Yeah, but I think 100%. Right now he is the complete package. I think before that you had like Antonio Brown. So perhaps he can play outside. In college he was an absolute monster. The reason why I know him is because I'm an Oregon Ducks fan. And one of the QBs there was a transfer from
Eastern Washington.
Eastern Washington to the Oregon Ducks. So then they kind of knew each other and they actually played a game against each other. I just had no idea that his best buddy, because the Oregon QB now is in the Canadian Football League, but yeah, his best buddy just went on to have one of the best seasons of a wideout in a very, very long time. So it's a insane world we live in, you know.
Well, the man's jersey behind my head won the MVP award, and it was, well, as good as well, it's not unanimous, but it wasn't close whatsoever. And if I bring up the voting, it was 39 to Aaron Rodgers, 10 to Tom Brady, 1 to Cooper Kupp.
At least you got a vote.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, give the man who give that person an award who gave, because they saw some real
I
sense.
still can't believe the Brady votes, man. Like I understand he's had an awesome season, but it's kind of like
it was just the 5,000 odd yards. It's just the.
it's just getting old now, man.
It's more about the yards, but ultimately, I
Yards
think Rodgers
combined
won
with
it
age
because
as
of.
well.
I mean, Rodgers won
Efficiency?
it because of efficiency, the touchdown interception record. That's
Yeah.
absurd. It was something like what 34-5 or 34-6, which is. I mean, Rodgers is gonna retire with the best touchdowns interception ratio in NFL history. He
Mhm.
just doesn't throw a lot of
INTs.
INTs.
Nope, not at all.
It's
Clean
like
game.
it's like I don't know how he does it.
Short postseason.
Wow,
Right.
that's fine.
Yeah, short post.
Yeah, I mean, let's say what it is. Throws a hell of a clean game, no errors, but when you need to take the risks to win it, it's just not there. You know, so
That's
he can have his
that
MVP accolades, but I'd rather have the
rings.
chip. Yeah.
Now, okay, offensive rookie of the year. 42 out of the 50 votes went to Jamar Chase.
See, that's how you
Now-
know there's some haters. That should have been unanimous.
Yep. That should have been unanimous.
But do you know who 3 of the votes went to?
What, Mac Jones?
No, 5 votes to Mac Jones.
Najee Harris, maybe did he
No.
get a few?
2 votes for Creed Humphrey.
And who
1
was the
vote
other
for
vote?
Rashawn Slater.
That's ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
credit
it's
to
just
them.
correct.
They played
No,
what
no.
they
So Creed Humphrey, I'm
All
gonna
pro as a
Ohio's-
rookie.
like
Ohio State.
yeah,
Buckeye,
all pro as a rookie,
Oklahoma Sooner.
doing an incredible job for that. Is it Chiefs? Because he was on the
Kansas City
Chiefs, right?
Chiefs, yeah,
Chiefs on the Chiefs O line. That Chiefs O line that got beaten up in the previous Super Bowl.
Yeah. I get
He
that.
came in and he plugged it, and he was like, "All right, yeah, this position is good. You don't need to worry about this anymore." Kind of thing.
I mean, okay, so he did. Okay, so here's the thing. I quantified by this. Would the Chiefs still have made the playoffs if they did not draft Creed Humphrey to play center?
The thing about the centers are very important.
It's a
position,
very
I think.
important
No,
position.
it is. But guys, listen. Would they still have made the playoffs? Yes or no without Creed Humphrey? That's my question here.
The only reason why I would say I'm not 100% sure, because you know that slide that they had mid-season.
Like you say, Dilly, all the time, stick a fork in it. Yes or
I'ma say no.
No.
I'ma
This
say
is
no.
this is.
No,
I
no.
know.
I
I'm
agree with
gonna.
Dilly on this.
I'm getting to a point. This is why I'm saying I'm not sure on it. So that slide that they had.
Mm-hmm.
If my homeboys didn't have time in that pocket and he's running around like a headless chicken,
Mm-hmm.
he makes more errors. They don't. He's not able to take all these beautiful, like, take the short passes that he learned to do towards the end of the season.
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
but
add to that. I'm gonna add to that. I
go
think
ahead.
if he's not there, they never come out of that pit,
Okay, all
and
right.
that's their
So
season.
I think they do. I think they find a way. I think they figure it out because the Chiefs have too much talented of an offense, and
Yeah, it's
the
just
Buccaneers
time.
and not enough teams have enough pass rushers or pass rushing defensive line
Correct.
to have bothered them not to have made the playoffs. Like
Yeah.
like they played what 17 games. You're trying to tell me Mahomes was going to be running for all 17 games without Creed Humphrey? Like at least 10 or 11 of these teams wouldn't have the pass rush that they needed. Now, my flip side question is: are the Chiefs in the Super Bowl without Jamar Chase? I mean, the Bengals.
I don't think they are. No,
Unlikely.
no, they're not.
That's why he should have been unanimous offensive rookie of the year because the Bengals are not in the. They don't even make the playoffs without Jamar Chase, and that is a
Like,
fact. We all know it.
so who are the other?
It was Slater, right?
The other, yeah.
Rashawn
So
Slater.
those are the votees, but the other people they mentioned on the video, because they showed 3 people on the video. They showed Jamar Chase, Matt Jones, and Waddle.
Yeah.
Now, Waddle had a very good season, as far as
did.
I'm concerned.
He did.
And the Dolphins wouldn't have even been anywhere near that playoff race. They wouldn't have got anywhere near that run if they hadn't got Waddle going.
I think Waddle could have had a Chase-like season, but the quality of the QB does matter.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was about to echo that same thought.
That's what I'm
like,
saying because he's
like-
he's actually faster than Chase as a downfield receiver. You know what I
The fact
mean?
is, I wonder this year. Do you think? Well, why not have even taken it to the next level if like he
I
had
think he
Burrow
would've.
throw into him?
We've seen those flashes. He's that kind of playmaker. He's done those Jamar Chase-esque plays before, but it's literally like if you don't have the right person throwing you the ball, it's just not going to happen. This is the thing. Like I always say, if you take a wide receiver early in that top 10, you've got to make sure that he is the best in his position group. No elaborate outside the box picks. I'm looking at you, Eagles, but you've also got to make sure he has someone that can get him the ball consistently and accurately.
So,
I'm just giving like an example in general, but I'm saying you've got to make sure you have a QB there. Waddle is a Jamar Chase talent easily, but he just didn't have the guy throwing him the ball.
okay,
But-
who did we pick? Who did you think you had picked for Offensive Rookie of the Year?
I think I had
Against
Najee
the
Harris,
season.
right?
You had Najee.
Yep.
Peter went with the home pick.
But more.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's because Cliff doesn't know how to.
He had a
call
great
plays for
start to
more.
the season, though.
he had a very good start to the season, and then he just then like somebody kidnapped him.
Yeah, I'll pick your brain
No-
about this, Pete, a little
Yeah,
bit.
go
but
ahead.
It kind of seems as though when players flash on your team, they just go further down the depth chart.
Yeah, because Cliff is on Cliff
I don't know
right
what's
now.
going on.
Because Cliff let the coaches dictate to him which personnel is available and then he calls plays. I think Cliff needs to become his own man and use the players that he wants to use because I just feel like we missed a chance to see how special Rondo Moore could have been this year because they just use it for gadget plays. You've got a guy with a
Yeah.
a 4-2 4-3-1. He's definitely faster than 4-3-4.
He's got the
He-
speed and he's quick. He's both.
He is
See-
ridiculously fast.
Exactly. So you got a fast guy like that. Target him as much as possible. Scheme throws for him. Let's see what he can do down the field. And I think that's what all Cardinal fans wants to see next
I
year.
want Rondo Moore
Well,
so bad.
I definitely, so my preseason pick was definitely the best player to have not scored a touchdown on American soil in their rookie season.
Pitsy.
Kyle Pitts.
Hey, blame Matt Ryan for that though, because I feel like Pitts could have been in at least.
No. He was
nomination.
getting.
The football,
Do
wasn't it?
you know what the issue was? As soon as Calvin Ridley took his break, Kyle Pitts was getting double teamed the entire time.
No, but apparently Matt Ryan actually missed him on a couple of open throws.
No,
and
but
ends.
like I used to watch it, and Kyle Pitts was getting a lot of drawing a lot of coverage, and in your rookie season, when you're in the tight position, when you're like, it's not always going to be the case that you're going to be getting.
No, but here's the
ball.
thing though. What's up with this NFL like defensive coordinators? You get a rookie, he bodies a couple of people in like 2-3 games, and you're doubling him already. Come on, let him eat, man.
Well, no, I think what it is
I think it was.
didn't have many other options.
Yeah, no, I don't think they did. I think it was either
That's
him
the real issue.
No, but
it was Cordero Patterson or Pitts,
or Pitts.
and then you're thinking,
That
are you
was
going to
it.
throw it to Russell Gage? Are you? Those are then the secondary guys that you need to think about. You shut those two down, then you shut down their offense. But
but
we all missed on offensive rookie of the year, and we missed by a fair.
Do rookies have
amount.
incentives? Do
I
rookies have
don't know.
incentives?
I don't know whether they have those kind of incentives.
No, they don't have incentives, but what they do have that counts towards them, towards their 5th-year options is making is Pro Bowls and All Pros. It increases your value.
Okay.
So like right
Fine.
now,
Yeah.
since Kyler had won Offensive Rookie of the Year, made 2 Pro Bowls, his 5th-year option will be 28 million. 28 million fully guaranteed. That would be his 5th-year salary.
Did you see what the
because he
Cardinals
has that
Instagram did?
accolades. Oh yeah, masterful.
They deleted all the posts except from the 2, and it had just Kyler's faces on them.
The thing is, I just hope that it's new uniforms. But I like the throw job though.
It is a little bit of trolling because who was on the show? Rap Sheet was on the show today, and Rap Sheet, he asked him about it, and he thinks he's mad about something, but nobody knows what.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
No,
that's-
like the team's still trying to find out what the hell's going on.
Hey,
Why is he upset with? What is he upset with?
I think his excuse that his agent's trying to clean out his social media is like the worst.
No, the
Like
agent
one of the
actually didn't
worst
say
pieces.
that. The agent
didn't
didn't
say
say
that.
that.
No. He just said, I
No
don't
comment.
control my social media.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
what
he
Kyler
put.
said. He said he
Yeah.
doesn't control it anymore. He's got like a
A
brand new
company that does it for you.
That's what I mean. And then here's the
Which
thing.
grinds
if-
my gears anyway, but because social media is supposed to show the real person, not the fake person.
Exactly. I mean. Okay, so what they've said is that other teams, other athletes, like when they've purged their social media like that, is preparing for your branding to take over and start posting stuff after they rebranded your stuff, and they'll come to you with the ideas of, okay, this is what we're gonna do, this is how we're gonna post, this is how we're gonna handle your social media stuff. So that's what I hope it is. DeAndre Hopkins have also alluded that it could be we're getting new uniforms, which the Cardinals uniforms are overdue. We need to change them. So I don't know if something's in the works to that effect, or it could be a contract thing, which I think I'm more starting to think more is more to do with a contract thing, instigated by his agent.
Because he hasn't been offered a new
'cause
contract
the
yet. So
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't like Kyler's agent. He strikes me as one of those money hungry and I'll make negotiations tough to try and get the best deal for you, which he should. That's his job at the end of the day. But I just don't like agents that negotiate in that tactic. And also other advice I've seen other ex-players, especially Carson Palmer, Jake Plummer, have said, if you have an issue, go speak to Michael Bidwell, because the Cardinals owner is very inclusive. You know, you can go speak to Mike Bidwell. You can ask him, I'm unhappy, X, Y, and Z. maybe I want a new contract. Just go speak to the owner directly and see what happens because you have that access. So do
Right.
that.
Moving swiftly on to the rest of the to other award, Coach of the Year, and it was given to
My variable.
Mike Vrabel after leading to the Titans to the number one seed in the AFC despite having a significant number of injuries. He got 36 votes out of the 50. Matt LaFleur got 8. Rich Bisaccia got 3. Zach
No way.
Taylor
Shout
got
out to
2.
Rich.
Bill Belichick got 1.
Vrabel fully deserves it. Because of the job that he did with the Titans after the injury of Derrick Henry and
Especially, losing Derrick Henry and still leading
and
them.
and not just Derrick Henry, they lost a lot of players in that football team. I think in his acceptance speech, he said that they used 91 players on the season.
So that's like
that
Just
played.
through that depth chart a lot. Yeah.
That is insane. And especially, I think the biggest victory for me, and as to why he deserved to win this award, is how they beat LA in blowout fashion in LA with so many injuries.
Yep. That speaks volumes. I think every time I hear about Vrabel,
That's pure coaching.
he's always building up like new legends and new everyone's looking in like, man, this guy's magic as far as a coach. And he's done an amazing job.
Gritty Ohio dude that he is, isn't he? So
yeah, no, the players love him as well. Like he's not known as like a bit of a dictator. He's like a players coach. So yeah,
but he's hard. But he's definitely hard.
Coaches people hard as well, and especially coming from under the sort of Belichick tree as well. It's very much like it's good
but
to
he has
see
his own
these
style, definitely.
Yeah, he's not like Patricia who tried to recreate the Patriots culture in another city. He's basically his own man. He's gone in and said, we did all this stuff. I'm going to take what worked over there, but then I'm going to put my spin on it. Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, the biggest success from the Belichick tree has been Flores and Vrabel, and that's because they've done it their own way. They haven't tried to be Belichick, and I think that's been the failures for most of the coaches in this coaching tree. They've tried to be Belichickian, and that's
very interesting to see how McDaniels does second time round in.
Well, he needs to be his own person. Don't try to be Belichick. I just hope that he learned this lesson first time round. And that's the biggest indicator. And also, I also heard comment that Belichick doesn't really prepare them to be head coaches. Which
that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Now, comeback player of the year. The award that everyone expected pre-season to go to one man and one man alone had it rightfully taken away. Because everyone expected it to be Dak.
Yep.
Everyone said, "Oh, it's going to be it's Dak's award to lose," and well, he lost it because he wasn't lights out throughout the season. Even though they went 12-5, they went 12 wins. Joe Burrow played a lot better, and they both had to come back from significant injuries. So, in my opinion, he deservedly won it.
Yeah, no, I think this league is very much about what have you done for me now? Joe Burrow like stared right into the void, and he just didn't blink. Like he's been bullied the whole season. Let's be honest, his offensive line has struggled the whole year.
Take the award though. He took the award and left it on the table.
Yeah,
he didn't even take it back.
He's focused, man. He's zoned in. Like he's literally like he's only thinking about one thing. So he's there for this award, and then it's right back to what he's got to be doing later on in the week. So, but yeah, no, hats off to him. Fully deserving. A lot of the times that's a career-ending injury for him to have it early in his career, and for it not to sort of mess up his mental game, you know, because very much when you come back, you're tentative on that injury. You don't want to put your body at risk. You don't want to throw the ball, but he's slinging the rock and he's not afraid. He's staring defensive formations down, and he's literally like no fear. So I think he's earning the name as ice in his veins, Burrows. Like, so he literally does have ice in his veins,
They-
fully
they-
deserving of the award.
So the comparisons to Joe Burrow that have been so far is he is the closest
Aikman.
thing to the second version of Joe Montana
Yeah, I've heard some
when it
Troy
comes to the
Aikman
cool
as well.
factor
Yeah,
Okay.
and when it comes
Let's
to
see.
how he plays. No, just like in a comparison, like personality wise as well.
personality, Pete. Not play, not
Not
how
just
he
pure
plays.
play.
It's more about his psyche. So it's like how he views the game. You know, I've also heard people saying there's a bit of Troy in there as well. Troy Aikman in there as well.
How? I
It's
just don't
mainly-
see it.
It's mainly because he's basically like I said, he looks into the eye of the storm, and he doesn't.
Yeah, but
flinch.
Joe Montana used to do that. I think it's more Joe Montana than Troy, because Troy will get on people now. Troy will get on Michael Irvin and his receivers back in the day and be like, "You need to focus. We gotta get this right here. Like, come on now." Troy is kind of like
Troy was a grinder, wasn't he? Kind of.
yeah,
Yeah.
grind that seriousness, like, and I think Joe Montana was kind of like is serious, but kind of like he gives you that confidence of, don't worry about it, we're gonna win this game. I mean, as in like Troy Aikman will get sacked 8 times and will tell the offensive lineman, do your job right now. Like, come on, you can't let them just keep hitting me like that. And Joe Montana would be like, it's fine, don't worry about it. Like how Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times, and he came back into the how they told the guys that let's go win this game. Let's don't worry about it. That's that
Exactly.
type of
That's a different kind of mentality.
that's like that type of coolness and what
Mhm.
comes with it. I would say that I'm glad that they voted for these kind of like awards. I think his postseason play, us the way he played down the stretch and then postseason helped him get this award because
I don't think because I don't know when the votes go in. I don't know
'Cause
when it gets
when
submitted.
the-
If they
when-
get submitted like early on, then it doesn't matter.
that's why I'm saying I'm glad that they did this at the end of the season, because before the last, I think 5 games of the season, it was kind of like a Dak home run.
Mhm.
But I think that last 5 games, whereby Cincinnati made a push to
Dak
get to the
just kind
playoffs.
of like Dak was
Yeah,
just like on a
and
downward
Dak-
slope, and
Exactly.
and then-
So that opened it for Burrow, and Burrow deserves it. He came back and proved.
then Burrow started throwing those 400, 500-yard games, and
Exactly, and that
just
kind of
put
like
him on a
sealed
different
it.
stratosphere. Yeah. Walter Payton Man of the Year, the award that NFL kind of holds the most prestigious, was given to Andrew Whitworth. If anybody has not seen his speech after being given the award, it is definitely worth a watch, because all 32 teams nominate a Man of the Year from within their ball club, but overall in the league, Whitworth is the man for this year, and he had a really lovely story of a kid, a guy when he played the Lions this year. Came on the
Derek
field
Barnes.
and says, "Yeah, Derek Barnes said, you don't remember me, but all those years ago in Cincinnati, I was one of the kids I used to sit down and chat to. You know, on those Tuesdays, on those off days, you know, in that community work, it was him." And he goes,
Oh,
"I've
wow.
made it. I've made it to the
NFL
league."
big wit.
Big wit. And that was just like, it's mind blowing, that kind of, like, you take all of the glitz and the glamour of the league and everything, that is something, like, to be proud
Oh,
of.
it's personal. Yeah, I think if you're like a
Yeah.
player and that
Mm-hmm.
happens to you, and you speak to a fan that you met like long time ago, perhaps on like a fan rally, and then you see him again, and like he's graduated high school, he's gone to college, and he's graduated, and to feel that he still remembers that moment, you know, I think that's magical, man.
That's the essence of sport.
Yeah, no, it is.
Absolutely.
That is the very essence of sport.
Yeah.
And we know that a lot of the players in the league do a lot of tremendous things, and if anybody wants to see, like, you'll see the nominees for the Walter Payton Man of the Year, and it's definitely worth seeing what kind of things they're getting up to with regards to positivity and how they're trying to increase the benefits to their communities across the US and sometimes across the world. Now, finally, to talk of the NFL honors, the 2022 Hall of Fame class. And I think we have a few opinions here, because there were some very notable absentees. Snubs, per se.
Yep.
I think 3 of them come to mind. DeMarcus Ware getting snubbed as a first ballot. Devin Hester, a man who
GOAT returner.
completely revolutionized that position, that special teams position, and I think it's a little bit of disrespect on Reggie Wayne that the 7th highest all-time receiver still didn't get in even in his second year.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, when it comes to receivers, that whole thing, like I said, it's been messed up.
It's getting worse.
It's been messed up because now you just got to wait, because certain people in the past had to wait. So it's been messed up now. Unfortunately for Reggie, he's had to overcome that sort of Batman and Robin act that he's been labeled as. I think it was Marvin Harrison he played with,
and him,
and him. So he was always the Robin to Marvin Harris's Batman. And to be honest, he's overcome that 100%, and he's moved beyond it.
Even Marvin had to wait.
Even Marvin had to wait. So it's just one of those things. But that's all on the committee. They kind of made this better.
He wasn't 7th. He was 10th all time.
Yeah.
So Reggie Wayne was 10th all time, and Marvin Harrison was 9th all time.
Yeah. So this is one of those things like that the committee has created. In the end of the day, it's an on-the-field award. If they have the numbers, if they've consistently played at a high level, not even necessarily records, then they've got to get in. I kind of feel as though, there was a lot of talk earlier that they want to get all of the pre-Super Bowl era, all of those guys in. So just get the rest of those guys in, and then do like a big induction where all of those guys go in, like Zach Thomas as well. I think he didn't get in.
But the thing is, all this.
If I name the guys who got in,
Yeah.
so Richard Seymour.
Hey, he deserves to go in.
I'll defensive tackle, defensive end, kind of played it all for the Patriots.
He was the architect. He was the architect of 3 Super Bowls, so you can't.
Correct. Yeah.
They don't win those 3 Super Bowls without saving him.
Tony Boselli, the first ever Jaguar to go in. That was a surprise to a lot of people.
That was a surprise to a lot of people.
Now, what Ari Mirov was like, it's about time that he got in. So he probably should have been in it a while ago, because I think it was just because of it being the Jaguars. But the thing is, eventually they're going to have to get somebody in the Hall of Fame if they've got somebody.
I know.
With it.
I know, but at the same time, I'm just. He played for a very short time.
And apparently that's a testament. He was that good at his position, and he played for like X amount of years.
Yeah, he was. He was very good at his position. So here's my argument with the Hall of Fame, right? If you're going to put Tony Boselli in, then Sterling Sharp deserves to go in this class too, because he played for a short time, but he was arguably top 3 best wide receiver during the era that he played. And he only stopped playing football because he had career-ended injury. That's how he stopped playing. But during his prime, Sterling Sharp was a 3 times first team All-Pro, 5 times straight Pro Bowl, just like Tony Boselli.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So why doesn't Sterling Sharp get in?
That short gap of him performing is just jaw-dropping in terms of his 5-year, 6-year stretch. And like, if you actually search Sterling Sharp right now, the first thing that comes up is how is Sterling Sharp not in the Hall of Fame?
That's what I'm saying.
You know
like
what I
the
mean?
guy,
Shannon Sharp said it himself. He's in the Hall of Fame now, Shannon Sharp, and he's not the best player in his family.
he's
He's
not.
telling you the truth. He's telling you the truth. Especially in that era as well. It was a violent era. You know, DBs could do a lot of things, and I know I don't compare eras, but Sterling, it's just one of those things. Like the committee has to really think that the decisions you make as to who gets in will send ripples throughout the rest of that process. So
Now,
you have to get it
so
right.
if you fast forward, have they finished? Or to me, I just feel like they need to pick one summer. Say we're not gonna do any, you know, of the current modern players. Let's look at the pre-Super Bowl players and look at who deserves to be in there. And then if you end up being 20, put all 20 in that one
Yep.
class. It's
Yep.
for them.
It's
And
fine.
then we can start to see, the current modern players that we are
Modern era.
accustomed or
It's
the
true.
modern era players, we start sorting them out. Because if you keep mixing them with
Making
these
people
old
wait.
guys, making people
Mhm.
wait, then it's kind of like it's become a very outdated process.
Yeah,
Because
that is one of the things people have said. Just get
'cause when you
all
think
the
about it,
people and put them all in at
It's-
once.
it's an absolute shocker right now. The two that I definitely felt, in my opinion, should have been first ballot Hall of Famers is DeMarcus Ware, who during his prime, you can make an argument, was the best pass rusher for a 2-3 year period in all of football. He had all pro honors, he won a
Mhm.
Super Bowl, he had 9 straight Pro Bowls, he led the NFL in sacks, and Devin Hester, even if you don't put DeMarcus Ware, Devin Hester's got to go in first ballot. Like, he was the best offense for one whole year. They were not scoring a touchdown or
They weren't
winning the
scoring.
game if Devin Hester don't return it back to the end zone.
Yep, he is the GOAT returner. This isn't like there's other
like
guys in
to
his.
put it this
I mean,
way, he was he was the real first person that it was like you need to kick that ball through the end zone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we don't want this guy to be returning it.
Yep, there were defensive game plans formed specifically on
For
stopping
keep
Devin
returning.
Hester, not on the running
Mm.
backs, not on the
No.
receivers.
Goes to
The
kick
whole
returner.
thing focused on that special teams coach, like the pressure, for defensive coordinators, special teams coaches, with having Devin Hester on your team, like and having to play against him, like it's absolute pressure. Whenever it was the Bears week, defense, special teams coordinators, they were in that room with the head coach, and they were saying, all right, what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? What's plan A? What's plan B? What's plan C? Because that's what he did. He changed the position. There were a lot of guys that were also good. Patman Jones seems to think he's as good as Devin Hester, but that's only
No, he
because
ain't.
his yard averaging. Because I was listening on like a podcast, and he obviously went off on like a rant, but his argument was that his average yards for each return were higher, but Devin Hester in total had more TDs, more overall yards. So
It's not. Look. It's not about how many average yard of
Exactly.
return or whatever. I don't care about that. Did you take it to the house?
exactly, yeah.
That's the question here. And David Hester took it to the house from when he was drafted. The things that he did, like he had a guy scream out, "David Hester, you're ridiculous."
Yeah.
So other members that managed to get in, Sam Mills in his final year of eligibility.
Yeah, they had to get him in because they had kept him waiting for a long time, and he's definitely a Hall of
for
Fame
25
linebacker.
years.
It was now or never.
25 years after, I think it's 20 years of eligibility, isn't it?
Yeah,
You have 20 years to be able to get in.
Have to. After a while, it just gets worse and
but
worse.
One person I was pleased for getting in also, out of this class is Dick Vermeil.
Yeah,
I thought
as a
legendary coach. And I think
Kurt
back
Warner.
to when he said we'll rally around Kurt Warner, we'll play good football. That's kind of like and everybody laughed at him, and it turns out great for the Rams. And I was like, that is a coach who knew what he had. He had full confidence in his backup, and I was like, look,
And there's going to be if I don't know when the movie kind of lands over here in the UK. I want to see
Yeah.
that film.
yeah,
I love
Should be a
myself
good
a I
movie.
love myself a sports movie.
Who doesn't?
Like there are it's well clearly not non-sports fans definitely don't like them, but do you know what an interesting fact is? Like out of the modernish wide receivers, the only ones to get in. So we had Calvin Johnson last year.
yep.
Year before was Isaac Bruce,
You had been waiting for a while.
and he had been waiting for 6 years or 5 years to get in, which is insane considering he was top 5. Year
Yep.
before that was nobody. The year before that was Randy Moss and T.O. in the same
Yep.
one.
It makes me wonder, like with this logjam, like are
And
they gonna
before
make
that
Fitz-
was Marvin Harrison in 2016, but that's showing like
It makes me
the
wonder,
disrespect on wide receivers.
are they gonna make Fitz wait?
That's what I was going to come to you. Like, do you think they're going to make Fitz wait? Are they going to make the
Nah,
number 2
bro.
receiver all time?
I don't think they
wait?
can because there's a lot of pressure. Like it's like a lot of the cats these days, people from my generation, two generations beforehand, they all know who Larry Fitzgerald is.
What year is he
or what he
eligible in?
represents. It's 5 years, right?
eligible. Yeah, who eligible in 2027. Now the thing is here. Here's the thing.
No. Fitz is not 2027 because he hasn't played this season.
But he's
Okay,
he's
so
not retired, though, is he?
2026.
Is he retired though?
Yeah,
No,
but
he-
if he retires and then he hasn't actually played any of those years.
He has actually
then
played
they-
accounts. Yeah, so basically it counts from you could let's say he
he's
could be
basically
like
retired. He hasn't officially
Exactly.
retired, but he's basically retired.
Yeah.
so basically he hasn't filed his papers. So even if he's filed his papers in 2024, he will still be eligible in 2026 because he hasn't played all the way up to that point. So he will still be eligible for the Hall of Fame. And I think he makes it
So he
as a
could go
first
what?
ballot.
He'll be in the same year as Drew Brees then, won't he?
Yeah, he probably will go in with Drew Brees.
Because Drew Brees is the first ballot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when it comes to quarterbacks, right? There's no debate.
Quarterbacks.
It's kind of like
quarterbacks are going in.
it's like so they're going like okay. We'll talk about it when we talk about the game breakdown. About a certain quarterback and see what his status will be. Or should I segue into it?
But we're not segueing into it quite yet because we've got a couple more tidbits on the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So we look at first ballot Hall of Famers. So we know that Drew Brees from previous years is going to go in first
Yep.
ballot. Brady's going to go in first ballot.
Absolutely.
Gronk, if he doesn't play ever again, he'll go in first ballot as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, because he has a great argument for being the greatest tight end of all time.
Correct. And what other players who have retired recent? Do you think Luke Kuechly will go in first ballot?
He was,
He
position
was
defining.
dominant.
Very
He was
defining.
dominant though. He
Um,
was dominant.
Big
But
kind of
But here's the thing, though. I think he might not go in for first ballot because when it comes to defensive players, right? Okay, quarterbacks is different. They weigh differently sometimes. But when it comes to defensive players, right, there's certain things that sometimes you have to go in first ballot. I think the only thing that might go against Kuechly is a Super Bowl win.
Yeah, because he lost his Super Bowl.
I think that's the only thing that he might get in like the year after.
Yeah, I
but
definitely think
not
he's not
quite
going to wait
first
long.
ballot.
He's not going to wait long.
Current players who are in the league. So we're not talking about the young guns because we can't really project their careers from now on.
Yeah, not yet.
But we're talking about the vets, the proper vets. Who do you reckon are the first ballot Hall of Famers that are currently still playing?
You
So
mean
I'm
that
gonna
that's
say
still playing?
that are still playing at the highest level. So
Tom
My
Brady.
opinion will be JJ, Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald
They should
and
be.
JJ. Yeah, both of them
Yep.
should be first ballot. Yeah, both of them.
Would you say they're more position defining than DeMarcus Ware was?
I would say JJ, yes, from the point of view of he's done what only one guy has ever done in NFL history. That was Bruce Smith. Because think about it, the argument for JJ would be like he was a defensive end in a 3-4 scheme, and when you play 3-4 defense and you're a defensive end
Your hands in the
in a
ground,
3-4,
Yeah.
yeah, but in a 3-4, defensive ends in 3-4s are not supposed to be getting 20 sacks consecutively a year. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if you play in a 4-3 defense, yes, we can understand you getting 20 sacks, but 3-4 is 3 down linemen, so most oftentimes you're fighting through double teams to get to the sacks. Now, JJ did it very cleverly, but I love how he did it because when he started the game, he tests out the offensive lineman, finds the weak link, he attacks. It works for him, but the accolades and what he's achieved, and also Donald has been so impactful.
Like he's so destructive. He's
Exactly.
defining for a nose kind of because he's not just an interior defensive lineman. He can line up outside and be as destructive from the out. It's just a different style because obviously size, and length
also
kind of
Shannon
thing.
Sharp also said something that Aaron Donald has done in NFL history. He and only one other player has achieved this in NFL history. And I think he's probably going to end up with our 10. Aaron Donald, has been a 7-time consecutive first team All-Pro. 7 straight seasons. That is unbelievable.
That's insane.
That is crazy.
I'm going to put one other name. Providing he doesn't get injuries. That's Mike Evans. 1,000 year 1,000 year 8 1,000 yard seasons in a row to start his career.
That is unbelievable. I think he gets in as a first ballot if he gets to 10.
And the reason why I don't know whether he should be, but with the way they treat wide receivers in the Hall of Fame, he probably won't be.
See, but here's the thing though, my only argument with Mike Evans, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer, no doubt. But to get in first ballot, he needs to have how do I call it? He needs a couple of All Pros. He needs to really have one of them All Pro type seasons.
So like Mike Evans,
he hasn't been a first team. He hasn't been a second team.
But would you say those seasons are behind him, or
no? He's only 28, so he's still got a chance to get those seasons,
which is insane. Like Mike Evans is 8 years in the league now. He is 59th all time in receiving yards already in 8 years, which is pretty mad.
Yeah, I mean, he could go up by maybe 15 if you think about it, by 10 every season.
Like him and so D-Hop is 42nd and he's had an extra year.
I mean, another guy that I mean D-Hop he's a Hall of Famer.
So D-Hop has had 61,000 yard seasons.
I wouldn't quite put but here's the thing though, D-Hop has been 3 times first team All Pro.
Yeah.
2017 to 2019, and that counts a lot for Hall of Fame, especially when you're going on the first ballot. Were you the best at your position how many times in your career? And being first team All Pro basically means you're the best wide receiver in the league. Yep. And he's done it 3 straight years, and that counts a lot towards first ballot Hall of Famers. Because
just put a side note, we know that Rodgers will be a first ballot when he gets in as
Oh
well.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm gonna quantify with who's the last wide receiver to be first ballot? Was Calvin Johnson, right?
Yep.
Correct.
So he was the latest wide receivers going as a first ballot, and Calvin was he was a
Marvin
three-time
Harrison
first.
wasn't even first ballot.
Calvin was first ballot because he was 3 times first team All Pro from 2011 to 2013.
And Marvin Harrison was 3 times first team All Pro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times second team All Pro.
Do you
Didn't
think
get
they
first ballot.
Do you think they dinged Marvin Harrison because of the Peyton then?
Well,
No,
because he was attached to Peyton.
I don't think they will. Because what are you
No,
going to
no,
do?
no,
They're
no,
really
no.
keep-
No, but what I'm saying is, do they ding him? He's a Hall of Famer now, but did they not give him first ballot because of?
Oh, he had the best quarterback, one of the best
Yeah.
quarterbacks of all
And
time.
and did Calvin
Yeah,
get
no.
it because Calvin played in Detroit? That wasn't a great. Oh, was it because
he played with the great Matthew Stafford. I won't have any. I ain't having
Yeah,
any slander.
that argument is gone now. The argument is gone now.
No, but hold on.
He managed to get. He got in just before that argument became like moot.
Exactly, he got in before that. But what I'm saying is that was he how do you call it? Okay, so or do you think Calvin got in first ballot because they saw him as he changed the game in a way?
He was a game changer.
He's a game changer.
I think Marvin Harrison was a game changer in a different kind of sense. Like
because Calvin, I think Calvin was the first wide receiver I saw that they tried to cover him with 3 DBs.
Yeah, triple team.
Yeah, they still couldn't stop him.
But now we must move on. Big game breakdown.
Dum, dum, dum.
And before we talk about the X's and O's and what we think the keys to the game are, what did us three predict as being who will be the teams in the Super Bowl prior to the season starting?
I think I said the Chiefs, but I didn't know who. I don't remember who I picked the Chiefs to play
Peter,
against.
you said Chiefs to win over Packers.
Yeah, that's why I said. Well, it could have still happened, but
Will had said Chiefs to win over Bucks.
Yep.
And I had said Rams to win over Bills.
So at least you got the Rams right.
Yeah.
Now, I was 13 seconds away from having an outside chance of having the entire lot right. Because that, you never know what would have happened a couple of weeks ago if the Bills had got to the championship game.
Yep.
That's
You
true.
never know. So, now to talk about the game itself, keys to the game. I see there are, from an offensive point of view for the Cincinnati Bengals, there's one key. Can they get the running game going?
I think
They get that running game going. They get Joe Mixon actually to do something. Then that will help Burrow a lot because then that pass rush will have to think about stopping the run.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think
Okay.
some run games in particular, you got to give the O-line a chance to eat. They eat by going forward, not backwards. Offensive linemen love run plays because it means that they're used to sort of getting a pounding from the D linemen who come forward. But when you call that run play, I mean, I don't know what the center's going to do against Aaron Donald. You know what I mean? But
it's normally the guard that really takes the brunt of it.
They love run plays. So another point is that they've got to be able to stick with the run, not to run away from it. Pardon the pun. When things aren't going their way, I think a lot of teams, especially in the Super Bowl, you've got to make those tight decisions where we're going to establish some kind of run game, and even if it's not working, we're still going to go back to it. Of course, down and distance can dictate your plays a lot, but let Joe Mixon eat, get some RJ Pirine in there if you have to, mix it up, but more the inside.
And
all the outside.
do you know another part of the defense, offense, kind of defensive battle between Cincy's offense and the Rams' defense that could be key? Do you know where the Rams rank against screen passes?
Where
in
did
the
they run
league?
against keep screen passes?
32nd.
Okay, right. Okay, here's the thing.
They're the worst in the league against screens.
I think they'll be aware of that. Don't let it fool you that they're not gonna be aware of that in the
Yeah, I
Super
know,
Bowl.
but they should be aware of that. But
Okay, so
if
let's go back
that
to
becomes an Achilles heel and they screen pass and they get Jamar Chase out in space, whoop.
okay. Here's my thing. Cincinnati, the Bengals.
Cincinnati
The
Bengals.
Bengals.
All right, Sylvester.
They are
the
not.
cat.
They are not going to run the football on the Los Angeles Rams defensive front. Okay.
You wouldn't expect them to.
No, they are not going to. Here's the thing. In the playoffs, right? The Rams gave up 72 yards rushing to the 49ers, who they played in an NFC Championship game. They're the team that run the most. The 49ers are a
Exactly.
very run-heavy team. They gave up only 72 yards. Against the Bucks, they gave up just 51 yards. Against my Cardinals, they gave up less than 50 yards. Okay, so in the playoffs, you are not running on that front seven. They stop the run early so they can hunt.
It's
your
how you
quarterback.
run the ball. You know, you have guys like Debo, you've
What
got Kyler, who's a dynamic player. If
But they
you've just got
shut
it
it
going
down.
through the
I
hand,
just told you, Will. All
I
these
know
runners,
they
they
did.
shut them down.
I know they did, but I'm saying like they've got to get inventive ways, and I don't
What
think the
other
Bengals.
inventive ways are you gonna come up with?
I don't think that's what I'm saying. I'm with you on this, Pete.
They ain't got Debo on their team that could take the hand off and use some misdirection to get some yards.
I'm with you on this, Pete. What I'm saying is they haven't got the options. You know, the Bengals don't have that dynamic slot receiver that can also sort of line up in the backfield. They haven't got that.
No.
It's
What
not a
I'm
slot
saying
receiver.
And
No,
we're
one
still, and it's
second.
still unknown whether
said-
CJ Uzomah is going to be
You've
fit.
got
as
to
well.
keep him
Debo
honest.
said the new position is called wide back. It's not slot that can run. He's a wide back.
It's a wide back.
Yeah.
I
So
think
say
he's
it
onto something
correctly.
there. I think he's onto. But in all honesty, like they've just got to do enough to keep the Rams honest. That's all it is. You just got to get those linebackers to peak a little bit because with what you've got over the top, it could be lethal. You blink for a second, you know, and it's not just Chase. You know, you've got Tyler up in there. You know, you got Higgins as well, T Higgins. So they can get moving in a hurry.
We don't know whether CJ Uzomah is going to be fit for this game.
There's a
He
big
has been
news
practicing
though.
a little bit, but I think he said he. But the big news is tight end for the Rams, Tyler Higbee,
Yep.
is out. He is on IR. He is done for the season.
I hate it for him because the Super Bowl and it's just literally 2-3 days before the game and you go on IR. That is
They know that his body's not ready.
Heartbreaking.
yeah, I know, but it's
Absolutely
heartbreaking though.
It's absolutely heartbreaking.
Like,
It's the big game. You want to be in that game. You want to be pushing, the limits.
why don't? Okay, so they should have done this for him though. Like, if I was the head coach, right? I know he can play. This is the last game of the season.
Have him dress.
I'll
thing
dress
is-
him up.
I think
I'll
the
dress
issue
him
with
up.
that.
Do, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'll dress him up. He's not playing, but like, let's say if the game is in hand, and let's say we are winning, and we just have to take a kneel down, I just like come on the field, just for one snap or something.
I think what it is
if we're
is
winning
for the
well
for
in
the
hand.
big game, you want to have everybody who's on that game day roster has got to be available to go in. No room for sentimentality anymore.
I mean, your third tie ain't gonna do much anyway.
But you never know with how freak things happen in games.
Yeah. Does need to be a passing play.
All right. So we've talked about the battle between Cincy's offense and the Rams' defense. flip the switch. What are the keys? And I'll ask you guys because I outlined the majority of the keys.
Okay.
What do you see the keys are on that side of the game?
What Rams offense against Cincy's defense?
Yes.
Okay, so for me, run the football.
Because then you get them out of 8-man's
exactly
DBs.
Exactly. Run the football and do what the Chiefs refuse to do. Because I know at some point since you will play 8-man coverages to try and limit your passing game. So when they do that, you run the football. You got very good runners in Cam Akers, who's a very shifty runner. I just hope that he doesn't, fumble the ball.
Put the ball on the ball. Put the ball on the floor.
Exactly, can hold on to the ball. Run the football. Play within your offense. Just keep doing what got you to the Super Bowl, which is you run the football, did play action, and took the shots when it's there. They relied on their playmakers like OBJ, Cooper Cup. Even that backup tight end was actually much a bigger play in the playoffs than Higbee was. Blanton.
Was it Blanton? Yeah.
Yeah,
he was a very good game.
Yeah, he was pretty quite good. So rely on them, and the Rams versus the Cincy's defense. Rams clearly have the edge in this game because I don't know if there's a DB on the Bengals side that can cover Cooper Cup.
The thing about Cooper Cup, it's not about
Or
1v1 either. It's not just about one. It's not just about 1v1s. It's about Cooper Cup's able to find space.
Yeah, but that's because
Physically,
within the
like-
offense, Cooper Cup is playing in the perfect offense for him. The reason why even when you double him, he can still go off for like 60, 70, or 80 yards is the motion thing that they do with him. Like if you motion Cooper
They
Cup,
just get him into they
exactly,
just-
he's in space. He gets
wide back.
releases. Yeah, like Debo.
Just very different style, but very different style. They've got two
Very
very
different
different styles of
Yeah.
I think Debo's more downhill, but going back to the game, another point is that Odell Beckham is on that other side.
And he's got to show out like he did like the other week.
Yeah, and I think he's more than capable of doing this. He's gotten more and more comfortable every week with the offense he's in, and this is the type of game that he could have. You know what I mean? His full redemption arc from that boat party in New York, where everything started spiraling. All the way until he becomes Super Bowl MVP on offense. He could go off this game, only because if they do double team Coop, Odell will eat because he's good enough to beat any DB on the other side of the team, 1-on-1, red zone or open field.
Right, I'm gonna go back to the
And vice
postseason
versa.
I'm gonna go back to the postseason records that I talked about on the last show. The other week.
Yeah.
So, does Stafford get 315 yards in this game? Yes or
That's
no?
a tall ask.
Just
No,
yes or no?
No.
Peter?
I say yes. I think it can dice him up.
All right. So you're saying that he gets the postseason yardage record.
Yeah, passing yards wise, I think he can do it because
All right. Does Burrow get 32 completions? I'm saying yes. Because I'm going to say that he's going to need to throw the ball a hell of a lot. So he's just going to...
What, Dink and Dunk?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he'll get 32. I think he'll get less, but they'll be for explosive plays.
No, I'm saying he gets 32 and he breaks the record.
He ain't get...
Of
Okay,
Eliman.
so...
32 completions in the game, yes or no?
All right. Explosive plays. I can't see him getting 32, but that's probably from Dinkin and Duncan. I honestly don't think the Bengals are gonna have an explosive play in the Super Bowl because
That defense is just so good.
who's the best DB in the game?
But Jalen doesn't travel with the wide receiver.
No, but here's the thing though. When the game starts, right? As soon as Jamar Chase has a 10-yard catch, they're gonna be
Then
like,
he'll start. Then he's going to start. But he doesn't
Jalen?
fully travel. He travels until they start moving. Motioning Jamar Chase, and then that's when it kind of muddles a little bit. Sometimes depends on
No,
the
but-
scheme.
okay, so basically, I think he's gonna start on T Higgins. I think that's what they will do. He will start on T Higgins, they'll try and double Chase. If Chase starts making,
Yeah, with the
a
corner
couple
and
of
the safety.
catches, yeah, if Chase starts making a couple of catches, then hey, Rams will be like, I got this.
Mhm.
All right, does Cooper Cup get the most receptions in a postseason? He needs 7. Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes, I think he
absolutely.
does easily, comfortably.
Right, stretch one. Does he get 3 touchdowns?
Nope, he ain't getting 3.
Not
He
the
could
Super
get
Bowl.
2, but I don't think he's
You get
getting
2. I
3.
don't think 3. If he scores 3, that's a massive
If he gets
blunder by
3,
the opposing
he
team.
get if he gets 3, he equals Larry Fitz for postseason, and he equals Jerry Rice for a Super Bowl.
What do you mean? Like most receiving touchdowns in a postseason?
Most receiving touchdowns in the postseason, most receiving
I thought
touchdowns
that,
in a
that was
Super Bowl.
Larry Fitz.
Larry Fitz has got the 3 touchdowns that ahead of him for the postseason in a single Super Bowl. Jerry
Oh
Rice
yeah,
has done 3.
Jerry Rice has got 3. No,
Yeah.
I would say no for the simple fact that Coach McKay will try to get Stafford the MVP because he's absolutely in love with Stafford.
Okay. Does Cooper Kupp get 161 yards?
Yes.
Receiving.
Close. I'll say
Close.
no.
Close. 160. I think anything over the 150 mark. It's always a stretch in the Super Bowl. because
I'm
people are celebrating
going
game
to say
practice.
yes, and I'm going to say he gets Larry Fitz's record for them.
I don't. But here's the thing, though. It's kind of like it goes back to the thing. Like even if he gets it, he gets like Larry Fitz's record. I think.
In Peter's highly unbiased opinion, Larry
it's not-
Fitz still has the best postseason ever. Correct?
It's not a biased opinion. It's just that it's just the fact.
I said it's a highly unbiased opinion. Come on, there's no sarcasm within my voice whatsoever.
Because Fitz did it when there was no other option. Like the Rams could win the game without Cooper Cup having all these record-breaking numbers, whereas Fitz can't. Like the Cardinals were not going to the Super Bowl without Fitz.
All
He
right.
literally said,
Okay.
"Nobody's gonna cover me."
Does Shooter get the most number of field goals in a postseason? He needs 3.
He probably would get 4 because I don't think they're scoring touchdowns.
If he gets 4, he has the most attempted and the most number of field goals. So he'll have 2 of Vinatieri's records, which would be incredible for a rookie season. And I want him to get that. And I think Adam Vinatieri wants that as well because he's of that opinion records are there to be broken. It's not about holding on to them.
Yeah.
Now, okay, stretch goal. Cup, does he get more than 14 receptions in this game?
No.
Can you imagine he gets 15 receptions and breaks James White's dink and dunk, check down, 28-3 win
Like I said,
record?
Defensive collapses like that don't happen in the Super Bowl. Well, you say that.
But listen,
You got the Falcons.
Okay, so up until the Falcons game, when was it? It's changed recent, but before Super Bowls used to be blowouts. There was a period whereby Super Bowl games were like.
Well,
massive
you looked at the
blowouts.
Was it the who did the Panthers play? Broncos, wasn't it?
Yeah, that wasn't quite like
No, but it was. Oh no, when the Broncos played Seattle,
Seahawks. That was a blowout. That was like.
that was an awful Super Bowl to watch.
Yeah, that was a massive blow. But before then, Super Bowls were kind of like blowouts. Like before then, up until that game against the Broncos and most Super Bowl, and apart from the Arizona Pittsburgh Super Bowl, a lot of Super Bowls was kind of like
They were
blowout
kind of the
fashion.
So the Colts, Colts Bears was relatively close for a certain amount of time. Colts Saints was close.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Um,
I think the
all
worst
right.
Super Bowl of all time has to be the Patriots Rams in 2019. Though that was a doozy.
God, that was a snooze fest. I was with our friend Anthony, who is a Rams fan. I was with him on that day. watching that game, and the highlight of my evening was the pizza that I ordered because, well, the game was boring as anything. But, all right, predictions time. Because we've gone through records.
Ooh,
Who's going to win? Is anybody
I
going to
think
put
the
themselves
Rams.
out on the limb and going to say
I think the Rams.
the fairy tale story?
I think it's the Rams. There's been something brewing in LA ever since McVay took the helm over there.
They
They've
must
been
win
through,
this.
yeah, they've been
Really.
through a lot as far as retooling
Literally, they
that
mortgage
team.
their future for this.
Yeah, they mortgage their future for this. Aaron Donald, like he's worked his ass off to get back here again, and he's here. He is not letting them walk out of this game. Like every single pass rush, he's giving 1,000%, and I think it's the same for Von Miller. He's looking to repeat. Odell Beckham, this is his first Super Bowl. He's looking to come through. Matthew Stafford is on that massive redemption arc, and I think he's shown everyone that he does belong in that top QB conversation. He kind of always belonged, but now he's proving it. I think the Rams is the team of destiny. Not that the Bengals aren't necessarily deserving, but I feel as though they'll get their shot. You know, they've got a
See,
very
this
young
is what
core. They're gonna get their shot. They'll be back here again at some point.
Do you know what the thing is? A lot of people have been saying this, right?
Yeah,
But the one thing about this league is that sometimes you don't come back again.
That's
That's why
true.
you're going to make the most of the moment whilst you're in it.
Absolutely. And it brings me back to, I think people make reference to when Dan Marino made a Super Bowl in his second season with the Miami Dolphins and they lost the 49ers. People thought, it's going to be Marino versus Montana for years to come. Those two are going to meet in plenty of Super Bowls. You talk about Aaron Rodgers as well. When he made a Super Bowl with Pittsburgh back in the 2011 season or 2010,
2010.
people were thinking, the Packers are going to go into a new era and they'll make it to Super Bowl. So it's kind of like you make the most of it when you get there. But certainly the future is bright in Cincinnati, win or lose. They've got a young.
It's just there's a lot of competition in the AFC.
You get what I'm saying? But the AFC is also loaded, so it's possible that he could go on and have a great run to the Super Bowls. I'm gonna go with the Los Angeles Rams, as much as I hate to say, because the division rivals. But I think they're the more talented team. When you think about it,
they've got veterans as well. That's the thing.
Exactly. They have. And I think the whole Rams team, more so than anything. Yes, I know Stafford analytics are there, but that team, I'm gonna say something. The reason why I'm picking the Rams is because the one person that they all want to win for is not even Stafford, it's Aaron Donald. Donald against San Francisco 49ers when they called a timeout and he had the defensive guys together and he spoke. That was the first time he's spoken like that to all his teammates on the defensive side of the ball, because he's never been a vocal leader. He's more been lead by example, good guy, locker room guy. But Von Miller gave him the encouragement. He went out there and he said, let's do this. We got to do this. This is our moment. And they've seized it. And my score prediction is the Rams will win this by 2 scores. So, something on the lines of 31-20 or 2 scores they'll win the game by, and it's gonna be a bit of a bloodbath. Burrow's gonna get hit a lot. He's gonna get sacked a lot.
Do you think it's going to be a wide score line, or do you think it's going to be a closer one?
I think. Okay, so here's the thing. If the Rams, I think the Rams, I think it would be a bit of an edgy game, first quarter, second quarter, but the Rams will pull the game out late. The key point is, if the Rams are leading, let's say 21-3, similar to how the Chiefs are leading, the Rams are not losing the Super Bowl. They're winning it because
they will run the RTD.
Exactly, they're not gonna do, because I know in the NFC Championship game against the Bucs, there's so many mistakes, to try and
they're not going to repeat. They're not going to repeat.
I don't think they're going to repeat that mistakes, and I don't think Sean McVay is
Also,
very good.
they don't have the voodoo magic of whatever Tom Brady was trying to do on that sideline. Because
That's true. And also
sacrifice.
going back to how Sean McVay has an impressive record of, was it 41-1 now when he's leading the
Yeah,
halftime?
because obviously, he that one against the 49ers. All right, my prediction for the game, I think the Rams will win this. I predicted them to win the Super Bowl at the start of the season, and I think that is going to be the case. It's going to be a peculiar game. I think Bengals will later mount a late comeback, but I think they'll come up just short. Okay, MVP, Super Bowl MVP. Who is going to be the Super Bowl MVP?
Odell Beckham.
Peter?
Aaron Donald.
Then I'm going to say Cooper Cup.
Rams.
I'll say Aaron
for
Donald
Rams.
because of
But if we're saying that we're all
Rams.
saying they're going to win, then it's going to come from the Rams.
oh
Very
boy.
rarely.
The finish, yeah. Aaron Donald or Von Miller, because the reason why I'm laughing.
No,
is
you can't be picking two. You've got to pick one. So you said Aaron Donald. I
said Aaron Donald, yeah, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, no, I'm saying of Von Miller in a jokey sense, in a
All
sense
right.
of what following what I'm about to say, in a sense of a double team ain't stopping it, because like the Bengals online, especially the interior, I don't see one guy that can stop. Aaron
Especially if
Donald.
Uzama's not in a lot. It's a
Exactly.
tight end.
And I'm thinking, if Jeffrey Simmons can get 3 sacks, and Aaron Donald's obviously much better than Jeffrey Simmons.
Well, Aaron's going to be playing like a man possessed, so
Yeah, it's going to
one of
be
those games,
very
like,
interesting.
He is not holding back at all. He's bringing everything. Every rush he gets, he's going to be on a ventilator in that game. Like, he's literally going to be have it. That's how hard he's going to be playing. Every snap is going to be all of his energy. So if you're on that
I must
line,
say,
just get
I
ready.
must say that for all Jeff Fisher was for the Rams, he drafted them. He gave him a gift before he left, and that was Aaron Donald.
Yep.
So the preview of the Super Bowl is now done. One bit of news that we didn't actually get to is the NFL will be traveling to Deutschland, to Germany, in 2022.
Interesting.
They will be playing in Munich first up this year, and then they will alternate between Munich and Frankfurt on every other year. So lab trip to Munich is got to be a thing.
Yeah. Germany would be nice.
Now, what game will go there? Actually, the conversation. So the two teams that have
The international market rights.
international market rights for Germany is, I think, Kansas City and Tampa
The
Bay.
Bucks.
Yeah, from my knowledge.
Well, I think it makes sense for them to be the first 2 teams to play there.
That could be the case. It might not be the case. It could be way off the mark. The UK has 3 games again next year. 1 at Wembley. So we have a Wembley game back again, and the London Jags will be going there. They have
When are the Commanders
already
coming?
announced.
That's the question. I want the Commanders.
When are the
Well,
Commies
if they
coming?
play
We
the
don't know.
Jags.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, it's about time they move him to London, man. They're looking for.
And then 2 games at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and 1 game at Estadio Azteca in Mexico City.
Yeah. I mean, they
So
can't.
5 games abroad this
Yeah.
season.
Not all of them can be stinkers. So if the NFL wants to send over its garbage games,
Do you know what would be
there's too
sod's
many
law?
games going abroad now. So there's going to be some good games in there.
Do you know what would be really sod's law? The Packers come over.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers isn't on the team.
That would be a disaster.
I bet you they'll do that too.
just for the ultimate troll.
I think that
eventually-
like, if Aaron Rodgers is not on that roster, the Packers are 100% coming over.
Easy, man.
I'm calling it now. And that is
Right,
me as a season ticket holder of the
Yeah.
London Games.
Green Bay Packers are coming, and the whole roster's gone. Devontae, Aaron. You just got.
Do you know
like,
who
this
the
is
rumor
Green Bay.
is for to be the host team for one of those? It's the Saints. So
Okay. Yeah. I'd
so
say
we know the Jags
this.
are hosting. So we know if we look. I'm just gonna just before we jump offline. 2022 Jacksonville Jaguars season. So their home games are. So one of these teams is going to be coming. Texans, Colts, Titans. Could be a divisional game. Broncos, Raiders. Ravens. Cowboys, Giants.
Yeah.
the Cowboys coming to London.
No, there is one of those home games is going to be that game.
But that's what they rumored. I'm not.
No.
not sure.
So the Jaguars are definitely coming.
Yeah.
So if you look at the Jaguars' home games for next season, it's the divisional matchup, or it's the Broncos, Raiders, Ravens, Cowboys, or Giants.
I rule the Cowboys out because Jerry Jones will pull something. He doesn't.
Yeah, but Cowboys do
makes
tend to
enough
come
money.
over, and they won't give a home game away. They'll get an away game, so it'll be all right for them.
But they've been awful every time they've been in London, no?
If I
That'd be
bring up
suspect.
the, let me see how they have been. So NFL International Series. If I Cowboys beat the Jags in 2014.
Okay.
They've played one game. That's it.
That's the one.
I don't expect the Cowboys to come over this year.
Same here.
So
I could see the Broncos though.
I could see it being Bronco. I think it could be Raiders as well. Could be the Raiders. Could be the Ravens. I don't think they'll send. If they put the Giants and Jaguars, that'll just annoy people because the Giants just aren't. They need to sort this stuff out.
Hey, they
After
promised to
that
fix
matchups.
Danny Dimes, so I give them credit.
But we'll find out in the next, I think, 6 weeks.
Yeah,
By the end of March, we
absolutely.
should find out who's coming over. But aside from that, the Super Bowl preview is now done. We will be back early next week to
Yeah.
talk about the big game and all of our reactions from that. But until then, the Ballers are out. And Will, Peter, goodbye from you guys.
Yes, sir. No.
Alright,
Over
and
and
it's
out.
goodbye from me, and we will catch everybody next time around.